Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this Cabinet meeting in March. Welcome to everyone here and to those of you who are watching this from home. We'll begin in the normal way by taking the apologies for absence that we have, and I think we're pretty well all here, apart from, yeah, I think, yeah, move on then, having done that, to the minutes of the last meeting, and I will sign these as a true and correct record at the end of the meeting if you're all happy. Are you all happy with that?
Agreed.
Can you just show everybody happy with the minutes? Yep, thank you very much indeed. Disclosure of members' interest, we all know the routine for that, and I'm sure that if you've got any, you will have already clarified those with our legal officer. So that takes us to our first paper this morning, which is the updated BEST strategic business case. And what I would say about this is that we began some time ago on aiming to run the council in an efficient, business-like way, which we've always done, but this was to make it even more streamlined and even more fit for purpose. And the initial months have shown us that we've made significant improvements in terms of efficiency, and this is basically opening the door to more of this, with the aim of providing value for money for our council taxpayers, to ensure that we run the council as efficiently as we possibly can, and to make sure that our customers, our residents, are quite clear about how we put them first. And I think we've made some really good progress so far, and this is basically the business case that expands that work and shows that we mean business, and that this council will be, if it's not already, and it nearly is, one of the best councils in the whole country, then it will be within a year or two in terms of efficiency. I'm really proud of all the work that's taken place by officers, and I thank them very much, and to all members of staff who've been involved in this process, and it has made us, I think, so much better as a council over the last few years. A calm, well managed and secure council that is providing really good services for people in the best way, and this will help us to do it even better. So thank you for that. Are there any questions? If not, I'm going to formally propose. Is there a seconder? There is. Councillor Wearmouth. Are you all in favour of accepting the recommendations? Lovely. That's unanimous. Thank you very much. The second one is item number 5, which is the Local Partnerships Review of Governance Arrangements for oversight of council-owned companies. Local partnerships are an independent organisation, part of the LGA, who we asked to come in and just see how the relationship and the governance was working between the county council and those parts of the other organisations that we work with are working. We've got a very good response, very good clean bill of health. There are some recommendations that basically say that we have set up an action plan to monitor our performance, which has been given very much the thumbs up, and we will monitor and make sure that that continues to be the case. And there is a recommendation about increasing the membership of the Shareholder Cabinet Subcommittee, which is a small group of 3 currently, to include that to 4, which I'm really happy to put as a recommendation. But I'm also actually going to make sure that all group leaders are invited to those shareholder cabinet meetings, so that they can see and understand and feel part of how we're moving forward. So there are the recommendations. Are there any additions or any questions from anyone? If not, I propose those. Seconded by Councillor Renner-Thompson. Are you all in favour? Thank you very much. Now, we move on to a very exciting paper, which is around the Borderlands partnership and how we're working with Borderlands, what we're delivering, and how we're going to make the delivery even smoother and, more importantly, even quicker. I'm very proud of the work that we do with Borderlands. This is a partnership that is cross-council, cross-party, cross-border arrangement that has worked and is working very, very well. It has produced, for example, our Rothbury Place plan, our Haltwhistle Place plan, Bellingham, and a number of other towns, including Alnwick, of course, and the Berwick Maltings, which is now in planning. So a huge success story. What I want to do is to just increase the pace of delivery for some of the key parts of the programme. So with the officers' help, and for which I'm grateful, we have allocated £9 million in this year's budget to actually move progress that much faster to deliver those things that we all want to see happen. As part of that 9 million, we are allocating 4 million straight away into this financial year to move forward with the place plans, to move forward, for example, with the Alnwick Place plan, which has got some very innovative ideas within it, and particularly in Prudhoe. Now, in Prudhoe, there is a very interesting project called the Glade, and there is also, in my view at least, an excellent potential project at the East Centre. Now, the East Centre was closed by a previous administration some time ago and has lain, sadly, rather dormant for a number of years. We want that to become a vibrant new community asset involving a whole range of different services and opportunities. We want that to happen, and we want it to happen as soon as we can. So I'm today announcing that we will find £500,000, £500,000, which will be allocated for the next step in this important project. And tomorrow there will be a meeting in the town itself, and Richard Wearmouth, who is our cabinet member for regeneration and economic development, is kindly going to go there to meet Councillor Gordon Stewart, who represents part of Prudhoe, to demonstrate to the people of Prudhoe that we do spend money in Prudhoe, and we spend it with a great deal of commitment and ambition, not just for now, but for the future. So there we are. Those are the recommendations that find and allocate these large sums of money to Alnwick Town Centre, to Prudhoe, to Bedlington, to Newbiggin, to Bellingham, to Haltwhistle, to Rothbury. And it will mean that those projects are given the boost that we need to happen in order to make the projects happen. So there we are. Those are the recommendations. Are there any questions? Yes, Councillor Stewart.
Thank you, Leader. You would expect me to say something about this, and I know that will be fine by the Deputy Leader for mentioning Prudhoe several times during this chat. Absolutely right. Massive investment in the Borderlands deal. Delighted that the officers have worked carefully and for a long time with partners in the town. If I'm just, I know they're doing that throughout the county, but I'll talk particularly about Prudhoe. We can't just have the money being dished out willy-nilly. We've got to work with partners, got to listen to the community. It's a town with a long history, but a very, very bright future. You have mentioned about the East Centre. Absolutely right, Leader. In 2016, early 2017, before I was first elected, I was contacted by people who run the youth service there. They were disgusted that the administration at that time closed down the East Centre without consulting the workers, without consulting the young people, the families or the community. They had no future at all for that. So it's been a long, drawn-out process. But now, through this Borderlands project, it's likely that we'll repurpose the land there and it will drive forward the local economy. It'll have greater pride for everybody in Prudhoe for the place that they love and they want to call home. So there's lots of investment you've mentioned there, Leader. I'll just touch on one or two notes I've got here, if you don't mind. Thank you to Councillor Watson, who came with me the other day to visit Prudhoe Waterworld. Prudhoe Waterworld has seen investment recently because of gym equipment, because of the soft play, and you came to that, leader, as well, for £60,000 into the soft play area there, £90,000 into a play park outside. Some of the members' allowance have recently put into the Bulls Pavilion. They're absolutely delighted with the work we're doing at the Bulls Pavilion. And just to remind you, on the board of Gateshead, councils such as Gateshead are neglecting the leisure facilities left, right and centre, as are other Labour-controlled authorities. So why was Jeff there the other day? £1.66 million. Northumberland County Council and this administration are ploughing into that town. This will have a huge impact upon the future lives of so many people. It'll involve tourism, because people come because it's unique for a water world. It'll be fresh, sparkling, bright, and something, again, for people of Prudhoe to be very proud about. So, before I wrap up, I've got another few things to say about the investment into Prudhoe. Not very far away from there, at Water World, we've also got Eastwoods Park. In 2017, I met a member of the public who was very interested in Eastwoods Park. And since that time, we spent a reasonable amount of taxpayers' money, because we are careful how we spend taxpayers' money. A park that was run down, forgotten about. It was a lawless park at sometimes, drunks and antisocial behaviour. Now it's a park where people are very proud of. People come from all over to visit there. We didn't even have a footpath around the park. How can you have a park without a footpath? Now people may have mobility issues or want to watch football. They can use this footpath coming around there. £150,000 of taxpayers' money. An abandoned building, an old Bulls Pavilion, had been abandoned for 20 years. We invested a reasonable sum of money into that. Now we've got a thriving community cafe, and it runs a food bank there. It is enjoyed by so many people. Play park, dog exercise area, investments into the sports pavilion further down the park. So much happening there. We've invested in roads, because the roads I inherited in Prudhoe were in a deplorable state. This administration has spent so much money on roads to bring up the standard, and we continue to do so. I know the people of Homedale and Homedale Place absolutely delighted the roads are getting repaired in a very high standard this week. Going back to the Front Street and where this money will be spent, not just on the Glade, as you mentioned there, but on the East Centre, will help the businesses. All businesses on traditional high streets are struggling at the moment. But we have some fantastic businesses. I'll mention McGee's DIY shop. People come from all over to go to the DIY shop. Pauline's Ready Steady Knit. Not many knitting shops there. Got 2 supermarkets and lots of other things going there. But we have, with Councillor Wheelhouse help, we lobbied, and some were against it. We built a retail park under this administration with support from local companies and also investment from the County Council. That has changed it. I was out with staff from a shop down there. 97 people are now employing, who are local people being employed in the retail park. We've got to look at connectivity between the retail park and the Front Street to keep both areas running well. We have high employment, low unemployment. Unfortunately, with the national insurance contributions being increased horrendously by 2% by this government, very short time, I, like many other people, fear that we'll have unemployment. So we need to keep local shops going there. The Glade is an area which I was pleased to use more members' allowance on, working with partners in the Front Street. An abandoned bit of land there, which we have taken forward, and it's somewhere tranquil for people to go and shop and relax and meet their friends there. So lots of things are happening, lots of investment into Prudhoe, and positive about the future. There are people who are negative about the future of the town I'm delighted to represent, and they've got no grounds to be. They have not asked for any investment. The investment has been asked for by myself and my previous Conservative councillor colleague, Ken Stowe. We have driven that forward. They've been left in the past, and I'm very proud of the work we're doing in Prudhoe.
Lovely. Thank you very much indeed for that very full recap on all the work that's happened and the benefits that have derived from that work in the town. I commend all that work and again underline the commitment that we have towards the town. That's why we're finding £500,000 of council money, to add on to the money that we're finding through the Boardlands Partnership. And I think it's interesting to note when you were talking about the need for keeping small businesses going on the high street. That's why we have committed to not introducing car parking charges in town centres, because it does have a beneficial effect on shopping and the whole effort that all the shopkeepers make to try and keep high streets going. So that's the part that we're playing. I will just quickly say that I have offered Prado Town Council a meeting to discuss what other projects they would like the County Council to look at, but that invitation hasn't been answered, sadly. But I still make that offer now, that if they genuinely want to see some development put into the budget, I'm more than happy to meet Prado Town Council at any time. So, great news, very exciting. Is there anything else? Yes, Councillor Watson and then Councillor Renner-Thompson.
I just wanted to talk briefly about Alnwick and the fact we are at last doing something about Northumberland Hall. I'm really pleased that the survey has taken place, which has revealed some issues that need to be resolved on this Grade 1 listed building, and we are about to do it, to make it back into a tidy and waterproof building, which will enable Bailiff Gate to go ahead with its proposal to turn it into a museum, which they're looking for funding for. It's just a great project, and I'm really pleased that's going ahead, and it'll be great for the town and great for our visitors who come to Northumberland. Thank you, Glenn.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely right. And of course, we're doing the cobbles in Alnwick, which local people have been asking for. And I think we're also looking at the bus station, Richard Wearmouth, aren't we? Yes. Also as part of this deal as well, to renovate that particular part of the town in Alnwick. So that's great news. Gary Thompson.
Thank you, Leader. You've preempted me. My positive comment about Alnwick was on the bus station. It is a horrible place at the moment, you know, for what is our county town, the jewel in the crown of tourism in Northumberland. If you go there by bus, it looks like a crack den when you get off the bus. You know, there's bloody graffiti and litter, and it's horrible. And Councillor Castle and the Mayor, Councillor Watson, have been really lobbying very hard, as have many of us for many years. You know, I had to use that bus station when I was at school in Alnwick, and it was not very nice. So, you know, we want to see that redeveloped. We want to see a bus station like they have here in Morpeth, with nice glass and a warden that keeps everyone safe. And that's something that the people of Alnwick have been crying out for many years now. And I'm glad that we're finally making that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Excellent. So, as I said before, we're looking at Alnwick, we're looking at Prado, we're looking at Bedlington as well. Again, we're going to be finding up to £600,000 of council money for Bedlington. Newbiggin by the Sea, a lot of good work being carried out there, particularly by Councillor Simpson, to bring forward the need to inject some new development and investment in Newbiggin. So that's 550,000 they're going to receive. Bellingham, £250,000, the station yard business pods and storage facilities. Haltwhistle, where Ian Hutchison has been councillor for a very long time and has worked very closely with our officers for work around visitor facilities. And so great news all around, and I'm very pleased indeed to be able to make the commitment that we made in the budget just a few weeks ago, that money will start flowing, not next week, not next month, but now. And I'm really pleased about that. So I've made the proposal. It's been seconded by Guy Renner-Thompson. Are you all in favour? Please show. Yep. Excellent. Thank you very much indeed. So now we move on to an update on our environment policy, which we introduced in October 2023, which had a range of targets and an ambitious programme of what we wanted to do to highlight the value of all that we do in Northumberland around green spaces and leisure and so on, so that everything our visitors and our residents enjoy in Northumberland can get that extra bit of investment to make sure that everything that we see and touch and feel and enjoy is of the best quality. And I'm very grateful to Colin Horncastle, who's now going to take us through this paper for all the work that he has done on this.
Thank you, Leader. Yes, like Leader says, it's an environmental policy statement, mostly an update, but it's the next stage in it as well, supporting the next project. What's this about? Well, a few years ago, this authority was recognised, I think it was by the CPRE, as one of the greenest authorities in the country. And that was something we're very proud of. And the latest statistics show that we've got the cleanest quality air in the country. And we should be very proud of what we've got, because no matter where you live in Northumberland, it's an absolutely fantastic county. We've got 90 plus miles of wonderful coastline. We've got the hills, the moorlands, we've got the rivers, and all the old industrial heritage, going back centuries actually with the Roman wall. So something to be very proud of. But what we want to do is, although Northumberland's a really, really nice place to live, we want to make it better for the people who live here, raise their families, and hopefully their families will stay here. We want to attract more visitors, and when visitors come, hopefully they will invest in the county. So to do that, going back to October 23, we set about down this course of the environmental policy statement. And I think the best thing to do is just to remind people, and for people who may be watching on YouTube or watch at a later date on the recording, what this is actually about. There's a few bullet points. I'll just use bullet points, so I'll not expand on them too much. The council is on track to half the council's own carbon footprint by 2025, which is this year. The council is on track to increase the number of green flag parks to 14. We've got 13 already, and the Tyne Riverside Park will be progressed this year.
Yeah.
The council is making good progress towards achieving its recycling target of 45% by 26-27. And we've got food waste recycling starting in April of next year. Fly tipping action is on track to exceed the target of 20%, and that's always good when you're exceeding your targets. We did have some serious fly tipping hotspots in Northumberland, and we've taken massive drastic action to reduce them. There's been a big reduction in them. We've supported, as an authority, we've supported 373 community-led litter picking clean-up days. The Fast Roads litter picking team, which is seriously important. You just drive around, you see litter all up and down the sides of the main roads. It looks dreadful, but we've got the Fast Action team in operation, and they've helped to deliver an 18% reduction in litter complaints. The opening, and this is a real big thing, the opening of the first 2 railway stations on the Northumberland line to passengers, with 50,000 people using the service in its first month. 90 roadside verges that have been identified as having significant ecological value. The latest bathing water quality results show 12 out of 13 designated bathing waters in Northumberland are being rated excellent. And this is another massive one. It's been very high profile. Is the £5 million scheme to remove the historic waste deposits buried at Linemouth Bay, and that's nearing completion. And also, what we've done this year over the winter is the enhanced winter grounds maintenance activity. We've got extra staff working there to make things look prettier, so to speak, over the winter, and get things in a good state of repair for the spring growth. So that's what we set about doing, and that's what we've done. We've done it, and we've exceeded our targets. So something we should be very proud of. And before I say anything else, I just want to say a big thank you to our officers and all the teams out there who've done this. It's a massive achievement what they've carried out. So the next stage in this is supporting nature in our green spaces. And that's the review of the grounds maintenance service. And the good thing about this is that we're going to engage, although we know what we'd like to do, we'd like to say to the people out there, the public, the communities and the parish councils, we would like them to engage in this. So we've got a questionnaire going out so they can help shape their future as well. So with that, Leader, it's recommended that the note the excellent progress and put into action the the action plan and approve the progress of the project supporting nature.
Yes, that's very good. Thank you so much for that. I agree with you in thanking our staff. I'm also very grateful that we actually developed and delivered this environment policy, which has driven a very important part of this administration's work, which is to enhance all the natural beauty that we find within Northumberland, to make sure that we keep to our climate change targets, and to make sure that we do all we can. And that actually involves serious amounts of money, like, for example, the Linemouth Bay cleanup, which for decades has been a disgrace in that part of the world. We decided we would find £5 million to clean it up once and for all, and that's what we've done. And as well as that, it's interesting to note on the Verge cleaning team that they've managed to pick, just in a few short months, 9.5 tonnes of litter from our roadside verges. We will continue to be committed to doing all we can. We can't stop people throwing, well, we can if we had a whole range of covert cameras and people keeping an eye on things all the time, but obviously we can't do that. But ultimately, it's down to people themselves to say, do we really need to throw out all of this stuff, or can we just take it home and put it in the bin? It's costing the council a huge amount of money to pick up litter, and that could be spent on frontline services for education, for adults, and roads and so on. So we are determined that we will continue with a commitment to do all we can to keep the county clean. It is a hard battle, particularly along some of the major roads, but we will continue to do it, and we will continue to do all we can to assist nature recovery, which is an important facet of the work we do. And to that end, as you say, we have begun what's called a community conversation with parish and town councils and community groups to ask them what they would like us to do to enhance nature recovery through environmental work. And that conversation is beginning, and we will listen to what parish and town councils say. We will want to increase the amount of uncut grass verges where we can. We already have a significant amount of those already. There is, of course, the legal obligation that we have to cut back grass verges, but there will be a compromise, I'm sure, that we can find that will allow more wildflowers to grow on our grass verges and still maintain the necessary cutting that we have to do along the side of roads. So the community conversation is up and running, and I hope very much town and parish councils will feel that they really do have a voice in how they want us to work with them going forward. So with that, yes, Wendy Patterson.
Thank you, Leader. I'd just like to reference the latest bathing water quality results, which show 12 out of 13 designated bathing waters in Northumberland are rated excellent, with only one beach, Spittal near Berwick, rated as good. So no wonder we get a lot of visitors to Northumberland to enjoy wonderfully clean water. And we're also progressing an application for blue flag status for Blythe Beach. So I do think that is an excellent way forward, and it's the first of its kind in Northumberland.
It is. You're absolutely right. Thank you again to everybody involved. Thank you to Cabinet for and the administration for making this a priority piece of work. I'm really grateful that we have achieved on our targets, but there's still plenty of work to do, and we will remain committed to our environment and nature recovery and all of those things that we treasure in Northumberland. Would you propose the recommendations, Councillor Horncastle? Yep. Okay. No, that you propose them, that's fine. And I will second that. Are you all in favour? Yep, that's unanimous. So thank you very much indeed for that. The Rights of Way Improvement Plan. I'll be taking this. We welcome the fact that normally we allocate around £300,000 to our Rights of Way section. This year in our local transport plan, we are finding £800,000 £5,000, which demonstrates the importance that we put towards rights of way and keeping the countryside well maintained in terms of rights of way for people to enjoy. We have consulted with a wide range of groups, and the plan is there before you, and a very deep and detailed plan it is. And that will be available, I think, on our website. So that's the Rights of Way Improvement Plan 25 to 35, so the 10-year plan. And we look forward to seeing more activity on our rights of way, given the fact that we have found this extra money, which will help us repair stiles and those kind of things. We remain in conversation with Northumberland National Park around helping them maintain their rights of way, because we have a strong relationship with the Northumberland National Park. We want to maintain that. So the recommendations are that we consider them a note, and we note all the positive and some of the not so positive comments from a wide range of groups and people, which has formed this 10-year improvement plan, and I wish it well, and I propose the recommendations. And seconded by Councillor Watson. Are you all in favour? Yep, lovely. Thank you very much indeed. And thank you to John Riddle for all the work he did in getting us to this stage. So now we come to the financial performance. It's me again, I'm afraid, but I will be very brief. This is testament to Jan Willis and her team, also to the way that this Cabinet and the executive team and all the executive directors have given us guidance and worked together on running a council and providing the frontline services that we are protected. At the same time, still giving free town centre car parking and all the other the leisure facilities that we do, and building new schools and so on. So it's very important that we continue to provide the value for money element to our council taxpayers, whilst at the same time boosting business and tackling inequalities. And we're seeing great progress in both of those priority areas as well. We did note that when we increased our council tax to 2.99%, that we had to make some serious decisions, but we have not cut, despite those people who wish us harm. We have not. We have protected frontline services. We continue with our capital investments, and I'm deeply proud of everything that we have achieved and we will achieve going forward. So we did note at the time when we've had to cut our cloth that other councils have raised their council tax. I think generally Labour Council, but I'm not absolutely sure, but a lot of them I think are by 7%, some by 9.9%, and indeed I think 30 councils have had extra funding from government to allow them to go forward. But we haven't taken up any of that. We have decided that we will do the job that we have been tasked to do without seeking special dispensation or putting council tax up by 7% or even 9.9%. So I can't tell you how pleased I am with the way we've come through this budget, with all the work that's in this budget and all the exciting developments within it. We also need, within the recommendations, to consider a new earmarked reserve for leisure, which will be, which is basically the coming from the previous deliverer of leisure, which was Active Northumberland, and that will be ring-fenced to invest in leisure facilities only. So, are there any questions? Councillor Wearmouth.
Not a question, Leader, just so much as emphasising just how grateful we all are to the officer team for the work that they've done here. As you say, there are councils up and down this country who are increasing tax by 7-10%. There, as you say, it happens to be Labour and Liberal Democrat councils, not Conservative councils, as we have here, obviously. But ultimately, you look at this paper and you see just how solid our finances are, how well things are going, despite in the future funding being withdrawn from us. And all I would say, perhaps for the record, is just it irks a little bit, doesn't it, that you do a good job and you're penalised by this government in terms of the money that's provided to you and the bailouts that other councils get. And you have to think there's no logic to that. And I hope that we'll make those sentiments known and felt wherever we can, and make sure that we drive a fair deal for Northumberland residents, because what we're getting isn't a fair deal.
Yes, thank you for that. No, there's no question about it. And we have achieved a significant amount with this very strong financial position. I would just quickly say how disappointed I was, you were mentioning the government, that the Chancellor talked about the investment that our office has worked so hard to achieve at QTS and Blackstone, and didn't mention the County Council at all. Didn't mention the County Council at all, as if it was somehow, it just happened like that. So I'm going to say now, just to put the record straight for Ms Reeves, that actually this would never have happened if it hadn't been for the County Council administration, sheer commitment and determination, and for our set of executive directors and the partners who have worked so hard to bring this development. So please try and have a little bit of understanding and try and have a little bit of respect for what is actually a first-class county that's done a huge amount of work that will bring jobs and investment right across the county for years to come. Very disappointing, but anyway, I'm glad to have put the record straight. Yes, Councillor Wilmot.
Just to briefly supplement that, Leader, it was interesting to see Mayor Houchin make some comments about how funding's drawn to the south, and particularly the sort of the triangle between Oxford, Cambridge and London when it comes to some of the things that we're looking at in the data centre, and AI Hub is an excellent example. I do hope that together working with the Mayor that we can raise the government's eyes a little bit further north, and we can actually get some investment to make sure that we put additional funding and additional incentives to make sure that we make the most of that opportunity, because it's there. And I hope that, having identified it, that the Chancellor can embrace it and come with a funding package that can absolutely anchor it and get the most out of it. Yeah. Thank you.
No, I have a great deal of confidence in the Mayor. I think she understands the uniqueness of the county. We work well together as leaders within the combined authority, and I'm quite sure that together, working with the Mayor, we will see Northumberland flourish even more than it is now. So, there we are. That is the paper, and the recommendations are there, which I'm proposing formally, seconded by Councillor Jones. Are you all in favour? Yes. Yes, lovely. Thank you very much indeed. So now, you'll be glad to hear that's the end of me. I'm now going to pass on to Councillor Wearmouth for two new capital proposals that we are considering today.
Thank you, Leader. And as you say, two interesting capital proposals, not just because of their nature, and they are very interesting projects, but also because a little bit of the story that it tells as well about what we're doing as an administration. So the first one is a loan that is proposed to be provided to St Homes, part of the Advanced Northumberland group of companies, wholly owned, of course, by the council. And this project creates 55 homes in Long Horsley, including 16 affordable homes, of course. That's 30% affordable homes in a place where finding an affordable home can be and is becoming increasingly challenging, perhaps, we can say. This is a continuation of a course of action that we set back in 2017, as you'll remember, Leader. When we came into office, of course, we had a Labour-run council, and we had Arch, as you'll recall. Yeah. And Arch was busy buying shopping centres. Yes. It was also buying, you might forget, executive homes, and in fact, it even bought its own chief executive's home from him. In a very odd arrangement, it also had a Labour spin doctor in a home, where he selected his own gold taps and his own marble work surfaces, and yet never paid very much rent, as you'll recall, Leader. Needless to say, that nonsense is all ended. And what we said to Advance was that as they replaced Arch, was that we wanted them to be more focused on business support, on getting investment into our area, which we've all been incredibly successful at, as you mentioned, with regard to the data centre and plenty of other things. But as well, that we wanted them to have a real focus on delivering affordable homes. And this project is absolutely as a product of that. And Advance here are building homes for Northumbrians, which is exactly what we want. And it's a little bit of an irony here that we keep on hearing from some of our opponents lectures about affordable homes, but yet when they were on office they weren't very interested in that. Yet here we are delivering and making developers commit to that, and leading by example by having our own wholly owned company delivering in addition to the 2,000 or more that we've already delivered, these more now in Long Horsley. So, you know, plenty of people have been talking about it, but we've been doing it for ages now, and they're well behind the curve. The recommendation is quite clear. This is a £9.665 million loan that allows the company to take this project forward. Of course, that loan will in due course be fully repaid, and then some. The loan is, of course, as well budgeted for. This is you allocating it from the budget to this specific project because of the level of funding involved and the relevant levels of scheme of delegation mean that it has to come here. And with that, I'm happy to recommend that one. And I don't know, I'll pause for any questions, or Councillor Horncastle may have a comment that he wishes to make in his portfolio.
Yes, any comments?
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Councillor Wimmer. Yes, 16 affordable homes. Now, sometimes in the southeast of the county, when we've got huge developments, through our planning policies, you see huge numbers of affordable homes, and we have been building them. We're over 3,000 finished are in the pipeline by the end of this year. But when you get to a rural area and you've got 16 affordable homes, that is a massive number. And I would love to see sort of the schemes like this happening more often in the rural areas. I can tell you now, 16 homes in a rural area is make a serious big difference.
Thank you very much. So on this particular recommendation, it is being proposed, and I would just add actually that I think, am I right in saying that we said we were going to build 1,000 affordable homes, and we've actually just passed the 3,000 mark now?
3,000 either built or in the pipeline.
Yes, there you are. So this is a welcome addition to that total. So it's been proposed, seconded by Councillor Watson. Are you all in favour of this one? Yes, thank you. The next one, please.
Thank you, Leader, and Councillor Horncastle is quite correct. And there's other schemes, for example, Wooler, we've delivered in Wooler in partnership with Benicia. We're helping to deliver in Berwick. These aren't easy places to get affordable homes built, as he will appreciate in his portfolio, but we're getting the job done. And that moves us nicely on to the next one, where we're getting the job done. And this is another part of the story about getting the right houses in the right places. And we all know that, because we've been talking about it a lot, that the government are demanding that we consider building on Greenbelt, that we increase our housing target by 200%. But that really does nothing for our residents. And that's because that's not necessarily what our residents need. They don't need more executive homes concreting over the Greenbelt. They need projects like this. This was and is part of the Blythe Deep Dive project, and this was funding that we secured from Michael Gove when he was in post, and he came and allocated this 20.7 million pounds. And part of what we're doing here is getting an extra care facility in Blythe. It's about ensuring that our older people, as they get older, are able to live in their homes longer and with dignity, which is something that's incredibly important. Northumberland has an ageing population, as we all know, having received so much correspondence from the 70,000 or so of them that have lost their winter fuel allowance, for example. This is the next step in delivering that extra care facility in Blythe. £1 million split over a couple of years to start the land acquisition and target demolition in some places to enable the development. And you'll see more and more on this in due course. But I'm happy to move the recommendations which are noted in the report. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed. Seconded by Councillor Stewart. So are there any comments or anything that anyone would like to say? Yes, Wendy Patterson.
I'd just like to say that the extra care and supported housing is vital for the benefit of our vulnerable residents, and this town centre location is absolutely perfect. I just think this is a wonderful facility.
Absolutely. So we are investing actually in sheltered housing and also dementia-friendly housing, I think, as well, aren't we? Where are we doing that?
We've got 13 bungalows at Linden Walk in Blythe, which are nearly ready for occupation. So really looking forward to seeing the first tenant enter.
Great. So a really exciting whole range of new housing going up, meeting the needs of everyone, but using money that came from the previous government to actually deliver today. So great news, been proposed and seconded. Any other comments on this one? If not, are you all in favour of this one? Yes, that's unanimous. So thank you very much for that. Thank you, Richard Weirmath. I'm now going to turn to Guy Renner-Thompson, who's the Cabinet Member responsible for Education, to tell us about the outcome of the tender for James Calvert Spence College, which I can remind you is one of the super schools that we are building. We have Seaton Valley, which is nearly, well, getting almost finished, I think, yeah? Looking tremendous. This is number 2, and of course we have number 3 in Berwick, which we are looking forward, some of us to going up to Berwick to meet the parents, to talk to them about it this week. So, tell us about the Amble School, please.
Thank you, Leader. You missed a few schools off your list. Of course, we built brand new super schools in Hexham and Ponteland as well under this administration. Now,
Investing in King Edwards as well.
we're investing into King Edwards in Morpeth, and we saved Hayden Bridge High School from closing. So we've done an awful lot of things to be proud of. So this paper is around the final tender for the new James Calvert Spence High School in Amble. It increases the budget ever so slightly overall to £46 million due to just general construction inflation that we've seen recently. It delegates authority to myself and no, it doesn't actually. It delegates authority to the Executive Director for Transformation and the Executive Director for Children and Young People to award the contract to Kia Construction Limited. Kia Construction are a company that we have used to build our schools before. And of course, this isn't just an investment into education in Amble, this is a £40-odd million investment into the local economy of Amble, because these construction companies, we endeavour to make them use local tradesmen and local suppliers, so that money circulates from the council around the economy of South East Northumberland. Amble is a place that has seen huge amounts of investment and regeneration over the last few years. We can talk about the retail park that was built by Advanced Northumberland, the Amble Inn, which has been a huge success, the Harbour Village, which is a huge success, and there's been lots of other private investment into Amble to make it now a premier tourist destination in the north of England in a way that was unthinkable 10 or 20 years ago. So one of the last parts of the regeneration of the town has been the school. The school has had its difficulties in the past, but is now rated good by Ofsted after a long period of being into requires improvement, and is a council-maintained school, so we did a lot of work to get the standards up in that particular school. It's not just about the high school, we've also opened a brand new SEND school, a special needs school in the old Amble Middle School called Barndale by the Sea. Not only is this a massive importance for us in having facilities for these children. But another priority for us is that children don't have to travel very far across the county. So by having this special school in Amble, it means that Amble and the surrounding area children don't have to travel to Alnwick or Blythe or anywhere else to go to school. They stay within their local community, and that's open to pupils. This, if we sign this off today, which I'm sure we will, we'll start construction on Thursday, a week on Thursday. We'll be there with our high vis on and a digger, and we'll cut the first bit of grass, and it'll be open in 2026 for pupils. So anyone out there thinking, oh, the council takes ages to do anything, try and get any other organisation to build a whacking great big new school in 1 year. And anyone who wants to see the progress can go to Seaton Delaval and see the progress there. So we're really good at it. The officer team, Audrey and Sue, especially Sue, are really good at this. What you get with a council build is a build that's tailored to the local community. There'll be sports facilities and car parking and other facilities open to the local community, that if the government came in and built the school, you just get a building off the peg. You know, a school in Amble would look the same as a school in Anglesey, and you know, it's not tailored to the local community. So that's the benefit of us doing it. And finally, just to point out again, this is council taxpayers' money, Northumberland council taxpayers' money. It's not money from the Department of Education. It's not money from the North East Mail, the combined authority. It's not money from the government. It is our money, and we can solely take responsibility for it. It's been talked about for a long time. When we came into power in 2017, we found there were no plans. They talked about it, but there were no plans to actually build this school. And we are making it and other schools in the county a reality.
Thank you very much for that. It is a very exciting prospect to see work starting so soon. I think in terms of value for money for council taxpayers, this is the kind of project that I think there's probably maybe isn't really completely clear to residents just how important these things are for us as an administration. The fact that it takes commitment, it takes ambition, and it takes determination to see through the building of 3 super schools. But that is what we're doing, and it is all part of finding a greater future, a fuller future for the county, for its education offer, and for our children and our children's children. So it is a hugely important step to take, and I'm really grateful to officers, but I'm really grateful as well to the commitment to the Cabinet and the administration for sticking to our word and actually getting on with this job. And I'm sure those who wish us harm will find it hard to disagree with the fact that we are all proud to be seeing this development starting soon. So thank you very much for that. Are there any? Are you proposing the recommendations? Yes. You are, and it's seconded by Councillor Horncastle. Are you any questions? Yes, Councillor Stewart.
I have got a distant declaration in relation to Ponteland High School. Right? That started in early 2017 under this Conservative administration. That was the same time as towns like Prudhoe were being abandoned, including the East Centre. This is a time when they were buying shopping centres, not 1, but 2 shopping centres in Cramlington. Right? And what some people forget is that the Ponteland schools, which was a high school, a primary school, a fire station and a library, were all started off by a Labour-controlled council. But when we came into power in 2017, we took that on, we rebudgeted that, and new contractors, and that deal went forward. Some people are mischievous, some people are unforgetful or ill-informed when they say that a Conservative administration shows a preference towards Conservative areas. It was, in fact, the Labour administration, late 2016, 2017. It's probably about the time of Lugano, if people can remember. A company called Lugano was building, or hoping to build, a distant garden village. That's when they did that. So.
Excellent, thank you very much. So there we are. Any other questions? Councillor Patterson, did you have a question? No. No? Councillor Watson, great news for Amble?
Absolutely. Absolutely, it's something we've been waiting for a long time, and I'm delighted that it's happening on the same site, and the plans are magnificent, and the town are looking forward to increased sports facilities there with all the play zone work and the 3G pitch, which is also happening at the same time. Be a great boost for Amble and for our children. Thank you very much, everybody concerned.
Excellent. Anything else from anyone else about this exciting?
One thing just to say, Councillor Watson does himself a disservice because it's something that he campaigned for ages. He's clearly too bashful to tell us, but he's been campaigning for this for so long, and I'm very pleased to see this realised for everybody in the community, for the kids, for the parents, but also for all of his efforts as well.
Yeah, excellent. So there we are. Been proposed and seconded. Are you all in favour of this exciting development beginning next week? Yes. So thank you. And with that, that takes us to the end of the agenda. Can I thank you all very much for your attendance. Thank you for joining us from home today, and look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.
Thank you.